I'm telling you, it's early. It's super early. It's Sunday morning. It's not even 5:30. I had this idea, and I tell you about it in a minute here when I get my bike. Sunday morning, 5:30. Yeah, there's nobody outside. It's quiet. Well, it's never quiet in the city, but it's relatively quiet. Can't believe that is fire truck or ambulance or whatever. But I have found an abandoned building that is not very far from here, and then I had this idea. That's a unique building, you'll see it. But you know, I've got this perfect drone, the DJI Air 2S, and my plan is to go there and take some aerial photos and some footage and make a beautiful montage of this thing, kind of like the same way as if I was going to put this on the market or whatever, you know. Mind you, this is probably for sale, or like nobody is gonna buy this building because of what it looks like. It's prime property, I guess, and there's always the issue of getting a permission to fly there or not. Now, I know this is not city property, but I also wouldn't know who to contact if I wanted to be exactly by the book. Guys, I have arrived. See that sign behind me? That's an old burger baron. See, there's the building. It's been abandoned for a long time, and I don't know what is all going on with it. I think the site's been up for sale, and well, there's a power line right behind it, which is definitely not the best for flying your drone. I'm just going to walk around the building, make sure that I'm aware of everything there is. Well, I have to be probably well above these lines over there to get a shot from the backside. But on the other hand, there isn't that much on the backside that I really care about. Seems like people have been trying to break in there. Power has been disconnected, see? No power. Well, this building definitely isn't in the best shape anymore. It's barricaded. The doors are all nailed shut and stuff. Well, and my intention is definitely not getting in there, even though it might be interesting. This old Burger Baron fast food restaurant has always intrigued me, but it's also a perfect building to practice taking photos and video clips that someone could use to promote this property. Even if the building has seen better days, it's still sitting in a prime location with lots of business potential. Capturing that is exactly the kind of job I can hope to get in my current situation. Since no one hired me to do this job, and practice is essential, I took the initiative to produce the best promotional clip I can from the material I could gather in a roughly 45-minute period. I limited myself to 2 batteries, one just for photographs, the other for video clips. The first flight was for the photos, and it seemed quite easy to find good angles and capture the building. This is how I ended up with 72 raw files.
Wow!
Most certainly more than I could use in a promotional gallery or slideshow. But selecting and editing photos is as much part of the job as capturing them. Would this be an even bigger challenge? The second flight was quite different in nature. While it doesn't matter what the drone does between photos, it is crucial for the flight maneuvers to be smooth and free of any drastic movements when capturing video. While I used no ND filter for the photos, for the video I used an ND8, which allowed me to keep the shutter speed at 1/60 at a frame rate of 30 per second. I'm not sure how important this is for going around a building, but it allows for some cinematic looking motion blur on faster moving objects, say the birds that flew by or passing cars. What makes video challenging are the ground obstructions surrounding the subject. It would be easy to fly circles around the building at different altitude if nothing was in the way, but this is seldom the case. Might as well get used to that. Well, flying too carefully makes for poor footage, but taking too much risk might lead to a crash I can't afford. This is where I need all the practice I can get, and I just do the best I can while in the air. It's definitely not perfect. The next big challenge is editing all the material I've gathered. For the photos, I have found photos on my Mac computer to be the easiest and fastest way. I use the auto enhance feature and then tweak it to my liking in the editing mode. For the videos, I use Final Cut Pro. Let me show you through some examples. First, I select the clip and I drag it into the timeline. You can see that the color profile of this clip is very flat. That's because it was recorded in 10-bit D-Log color. The first challenge is to color grade the clip. I've established a simple process that ensures that all my clips turn out the same color. First, I do the color balance. This will automatically set the white balance. However, instead of leaving the automatic setting in place, I can now select a spot in the picture that I know should be pure white. One click with the color sampler will set the white balance of the whole clip according to that selection. Next, I go to the color inspector. This is where I use the color wheels. They allow me to modify the colors, saturation level, and exposure for the entire range as in global, as well as highlights, shadows, and midtones individually. This is where I play around until I have an image that I like. In this case, overall I want to make the red color of the roof stand out, so I enhance the red in the picture. I also want the grass to be green to have a nice contrast. I simply increase the green a bit in the midtones. I play with exposure and saturation as well until I'm satisfied. That's when I save all the adjustments as a preset that can be applied to all the other clips in the series. That'll make editing them so much quicker. The next thing I like to edit is the crop. Final Cut Pro has the so-called Ken Burns effect. You can select the crop for the beginning of the clip as well as the end of the clip. It'll then gradually change as the clip goes on. I make my adjustments sometimes several times and review it until I like what I see. Sometimes you can fix mistakes here, especially since this video was recorded in 5.4K, so even for 4K resolution, I have quite a bit of leeway. This clip here isn't great, but I can make it better. The final step in my video editing process is stabilization. Even footage from a good drone is sometimes a little bit shaky, but it's fixed with a click. You can also adjust the intensity of this feature.
Of course, when it comes to editing video clips, the possibilities are endless.
There's no right or wrong.
The challenge is now to mix the clips and the pictures together in a way that is interesting and pleasant to watch, and that shows as much of the subject as possible. Here's what I came up with. Let me know what you think. I'm still relatively new at this myself and keep discovering new possibilities. Do you have a property to sell or a business to promote? Please consider giving me a call so we can work together to make things happen. Why not hit the like button for this video and then subscribe to my channel while you're at it? Got a home to sell? Watch this video next. And I'll see you there.